do we have historical examples of people who got it right? Who truly knew how to engage, who didn't just approach colonizers, oppressors, and seek justice and reform and integration, but actually engaged with conquerors in the appropriate and sustained manner.
And also to seek for answers outside of ourselves, trying to appease the morality of our conquerors.
Yes.
Trying to find the humanity in them.
Yes.
Trying to make them see us as human beings and, maybe if we just act this way, they'll stop behaving this. Listen.
Emancipation!
Civil rights!
Yeah!
Receive African independence!
Oh, we got us the vote!
Women's liberation!
All day and gay rights! Prison reform!
Prison reform! Juneteenth!
Official holidays! First black president!
We've done first blacks.
Oh, right.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the People's Podcast, the People's Show, the Bird's Eye View. And I'm my bro, Diallo.
Seun.
Yeah. Seun. Seun.
That's exactly
Stop calling
what
my
I
name
said
like Europeans.
in that accent, exactly how I said it.
Seun. After
Seun.
12 years of friendship, bro.
I'll continue to work on it.
I'll talk to you off camera. Anyway, today's episode, let me ask for the ancestral reveal. Has been revealed as conquest or justice. Can you ever secure justice from a conqueror? I think that's the angle we're going to go today. And if justice is the appropriate response to imperialism, and I think for us on this show, I want to believe, if Diallo has not changed in the last 10 minutes,
It's likely
that we believe that revolution is the only answer, to imperialism and conquest.
I have a new name for revolution. We should call it counter-conquest.
Mm-hmm.
Because people seem to be afraid of the concept of revolution. And counter-conquest sounds more academic.
Well, since they have the counter-revolution, COINTELPRO.
Yeah, so
one of the things,
let's
one of the things we pointed out about COINTELPRO, is like COINTELPRO, and that's one of the things we forget, that it's counterintelligence.
Right. Word.
In 1956, the Federal Bureau of Investigations launched a top-secret counterintelligence program, COINTELPRO. Its mission? To infiltrate the Communist Party of the United States, spy on its members, and spread false news stories against those with communist ties, including leading public figures and celebrities.
Counterintelligence. And today we have artificial intelligence. Someone asked me, Seun, what do you think about artificial intelligence? I said, what does artificial mean? Fake. Fake intelligence. It's stupid. It's in the name. It's in the goddamn name.
When I hear AI, it translates actual ignorance.
Me, I just hear stupid. Artificial intelligence is fake intelligence.
Anyway, Dow Jones, right, called when the conquerors, when victims of oppression rise up and the conquerors make concessions, he called that loosening up to get a tighter grip. So we have a long history of decolonization, grants of civil rights, women's rights, the allowing of integration into institutions, public and private, of power, but the collective remains discontent.
Yeah.
And the issues that drive rebellion and resistance remain.
Well, civil rights was happening in tandem with mass incarceration. The civil rights laws were passed and, the movements were growing. And at the same time, there was mass incarceration of our people all over the United States, independence movement in Africa. I mean, I think it's I forgot who said this, that Africans are good at winning the war, but we are bad at winning the peace.
I remember that.
Because I think, we always lose the peace.
Yes.
We battle for independence, we destroy colonialism. But
we riot and burn down every major city in the U.S.
But we forget to finish
we win the war, and then
after the war is over, it seems we don't know what else to do. Like, what do we do with all this peace?
All this new freedom.
Ooh, massa.
Yeah. So, if that's the case, do we have historical examples of people who got it right, who truly knew how to engage, who didn't just approach colonizers, oppressors, and seek justice and reform and integration, but actually engaged with the conquerors in the appropriate and sustained manner?
I mean, one of the greatest men that ever lived, Ho Chi Minh, and his resistance to American imperialism in Vietnam.
Okay.
And I think you recommended one of the greatest books I've ever read, The War of the Flea. And just looking at successful guerrilla warfare all over the world that has led to true emancipation of, the Maoist revolution in China, the People's Revolution in China, and to see the transition of that and what it has become today has not come without its own flaws.
Right.
And that's something I respect about true revolutionary work.
Right.
People must understand that true revolutionary work is not something that we get right at once or is utopia. No, because we are humans and we are fallible.
It's multi-generational.
Exactly. It's not one man's job to do it.
Right.
He has to put in place, something that can go intergenerational. The plan must see into the future. It's not in our lifetime. We can't expect. Mao did not see today's China, but I'm sure he dreamt it, in some way, And I think, Sun Tzu in Haiti. A lot of people talk about Toussaint and Desari, and the amount of time.
You're going coast to coast.
Let's go, man. The amount of time those guys crossed over from the Haitian Revolution back to the French army, but nobody talks about Sun Tzu, who held down, who without this man, and that's how they erase history. We don't really know the people that really committed themselves.
Yeah, Bookman. Yeah, it's several heroes. It's too many to count. It's peculiar that we don't.
In the ANC, in South Africa.
You're being awfully generous.
MPLA in Angola, come on, man. I'm not being generous. They did the right, but they lost the peace.
Exactly.
But they got the right, that's the revolution.
You're right. Yeah, okay, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
So, how about you guys? If you're listening, go in the comments and let us know revolutionary organizations that had the appropriate response to conquest, who didn't simply settle for integration or reforms, but engaged in a revolutionary struggle to dismantle the systems and institutions of oppression.
Comment section. Ashe.
Seun, we've been dealing with historical examples. Can we bring it up to date? Some more contemporary examples of appropriate
before we even jump into examples, I like to discuss the ideas that maybe push us the wrong direction that we take from mainstream world, like the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Oh.
So for example, in Africa, like Africans right now, we hate all our politicians. We think they are all despicable. The people can't stand them. We hate our military too. But because in some parts of Africa right now, the military is standing up to the politicians, a lot of people are saying, the military in Africa are becoming the
champions of the people,
are revolutionary in some way. And I know for a fact, take Niger, the Sahel region right now, and the military coups that have entrenched themselves there,
right?
In power, a lot of comparisons.
You mean the revolutionary freedom fighter movements?
The revolutionary governments,
yes, the
of Burkina Faso, of Mali, the anti-imperialist,
yes,
anti-colonial government. Let me use the right lingo because I don't have bulletproof. Africa, so this notion, of my enemy's enemy is my friend kind of confuses African people. And we even forget our own history. We forget the militaries, antecedents in our continent and what they had done in the last 40 years that they ruled Africa from 1960 basically till the late 90s. What we got out of that and what came out of that for us as African people, you know. So yeah.
I think there's an ongoing myth across the Africa and the African diaspora that the oppressive classes, the colonial and imperialist classes, are a unified cabal.
Yeah.
That our enemies and oppressors have stronger internal conflicts than we do amongst the poor and working class and colonized people.
We don't even see how fleeting European and US policies and politics are in terms of their geopolitics and relationship. For us to even attach our own destinies to these fleeting policies or political affiliations, shows me probably we don't learn from history. And even from recent just 10 months ago, Ukraine was the closest friend of America. America was willing to give billions to Ukraine just 10 months ago. Today, the Ukrainian president was almost crying in the White House. I'm wearing a uniform one day.
You didn't say thank you.
Have you said thank you once this entire meeting? No, in this entire meeting, have you said thank you?
You didn't say thank you.
When you're talking to me, I'm going to show you.
You never said thank you.
You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
Can you imagine?
This is listen, bro. France, for example, is like the battling cry of Francophone. France is the enemy. Macron is saying, no, we can't leave. We want partnership with Africa.
Right.
What if Macron is going to leave one day? Marine Le Pen is going to win. Marine Le Pen is saying, we don't want anything to do with Africa. In fact, we want to send all Africans back. So is she suddenly going to be an ally of these governments, also these racist, fascist governments that France might have if Marine Le Pen wins? So I think we don't really look deep into
understand the complexities of the oppressors.
Exactly.
People just say the elites.
And then they make
People
the comparisons.
just say the colonizers, which are accurate terms.
But you must look at the intricacies.
You have to look within that group of elites. There are several factions, and they're constantly in interplay of power. So it's not just about exploiting the masses; it's also about the intricate interplay of power.
Because they are also
the
competing. One of the, as you always say on your show, but one of the attributes of elite is that they compete at the top.
Yes.
So they are always in competition with one another, trying to one up each other. So that shouldn't be our own. The only job we have there is to probably stoke the flames and make it worse than it should be.
We can't ride the coattails of one elite or wealthy or imperialist faction just because they banging on another.
Exactly. And these comparisons, in Africa today, Putin this, Putin that. I mean,
say Vladimir.
I
truly think the black left is confused between Vladimir Putin and Vladimir Lenin.
Yeah, I mean, if Lenin were to get a hold of Putin, at worst he'll shoot him in the face.
Oh no.
But at best, he's sending him off to Siberia for some re-education.
Right.
This confusion that the Russian Federation under the Soviet Union is the same as the Russian state of today confuses me. Putin is a dead-ass capitalist, a rugged, ruthless capitalist, that has no other compulsion than to get what is his.
He was a freedom fighter stopping the encroachment of the West.
On his business. This has nothing to do on any ideological, progressive, humanistic leanings. Have you seen how Putin treats his own people? Is he going to love Africans more than he loves the people of Chechnya or the people of what's this Islamic region? He's
freeing those people.
Sorry, my lingo. So I mean, comparing that Soviet Union, like when Ibrahim Traore says Russia was supporting Africa during
he said their family.
But he first said Russia is Africa's family. Oh
my
God, Putin, my brother. Brother Putin, brother Vlad.
Yo,
listen, man.
Ibrahim invited Putin to the cookout.
People are confused.
Putin
Have you been to
Vladimir
Russia
Putin
recently
is
to see
invited
the
to the
racism?
cookout.
This is with a.
You can't be invited to Russia because there are literally calls that go out to saying there's certain places you can't even go. Like the African students.
Really?
Yeah, the migrant students are under assault and being hunted by nationalists. But beyond that, he's family.
Oh my goodness. I mean, the comparisons for me are preposterous. Like, we don't understand. The ideologies are different. I mean, even Ibrahim Traore, you know, when they compare him to Sankara, you know, is he a socialist? Has he projected any socialist tendencies? Because that is the underlining factor that creates that Sankara was able to build whatever he has built from.
Little by little, Sankara takes his country out of misery, achieves food self-sufficiency, but clashes with the French who want to keep control over their former colonies. Above all, they want to avoid by all means that Sankara's ideas spread throughout the region.
One thing I don't want us to do as Africans anymore is diminish our heroes. We are too quick, and this is only Africans on the continent. You know, people in the diaspora don't allow it. That's why you've never had even a new Biggie Smalls in America. Many rappers have come out. Once you say, oh, he sounds like Biggie, that's the end of your career.
Yes.
You know, he sounds like Tupac, done. You know, they don't even allow that. There's not been a new James Brown. You know.
Or even with
Marley,
the new Black Panther
there's not
Party.
been a new.
When the new Black Panther Party emerged, people rejected outright. Like, no, the Black Panthers were to go do something else.
Show us you are inspired by that, but build something else.
Right.
And I want to see that. I would respect that in Ibrahim Traore. If he's Ibrahim Traore inspired by Thomas Sankara, the comparisons with Thomas Sankara are so false. You know, and even some people say a military. No, Sankara never did a coup. People forget that Sankara was prime minister of Burkina Faso, and he was leading a mass movement. He was mass mobilizing the people already.
Well, Ibrahim has promised elections.
No.
Elections soon come. In fact, put in the
said
comments.
He said in a year.
When you think
he said it'll be 18 months, but when it was time, he said he
Africa time.
No, he said
AP
he had
time.
held. No, this is. I don't want fake news.
Put in the
Diallo,
comments when you think there will be democratic elections in the Sahel.
Elections in Burkina Faso are not a priority compared to security. Burkina Faso's military leader, Captain Ibrahim Traore, said on state television. This comes after almost a year after coming to power in a coup.
Because they're bringing freedom and democracy to the people.
Listen, he said he was going to step down last 2 years or something, and the people refused for him to step down. He learned that he held a referendum. They didn't vote. You know,
they told him.
They told him in meetings held across
in the barbershop.
Yeah, that they don't want him to leave.
In the football field.
Yeah.
Nah, hold it down. Nah, keep that, dog. Keep that.
Don't leave, bro.
Absolute power. Keep that. That's you. You're good.
Yo. You got the juice now, man.
You know, so these comparisons, you know, I just want us to understand that they don't really hold water and do anything for our revolutionary movement.
You said something that was cold-blooded, and I'm very happy you didn't repeat it.
No.
No. Let's
listen. No, seriously. Before I wrap this up, the Russia of today, and the Federation of Russia in the Soviet Union are as different as Ibrahim Traore is to Thomas Sankara.
You're gonna have to merge that.
Let's get in the comment section and let's discuss that. This thing is shedding, but ashe. Welcome to this segment of our episode, All Praises Due. And on this episode today, all praises due to the great ancestor, Patrice Lumumba. Patrice Lumumba was born on the 2nd of July, 1925, and he was brutally murdered by Belgian troops in collaboration with British and American intelligence. Lumumba founded the Mouvement National du Congolais, which is the national movement of Congo. You know, I think my French was Frenchy. I'm sure I got it right. Well, back to serious issue. Lumumba was more like a conservative politician in the beginning of his political career until he visited Ghana in 1958 to attend the All African People's Conference hosted by the one and only Kwame Nkrumah. This event really politicized and revolutionized the great Patrice Lumumba. And upon returning to his country, he became more involved in a militant way in the ongoing anti-colonial and independence struggles of Congo. A year later, in 1959, Lumumba was thrown in jail for about a year. He was in jail for leading or participating in an anti-colonial rebellion in Kinshasa, in which 40 people were killed. Lumumba became the foremost voice of Congo's liberation. And at this point, I want to point out something very important that I think we as Africans always overlook. During our independence struggles all over Africa, the most armed group of Africans were the Africans in colonial armies. All over Africa, these men were already armed before we got independence. They only were willing to turn their arms on their own people to fight to entrench colonial values in Africa. Not one African country was liberated by people in colonial armies. Not one. Not a single country in Africa. The colonial army turned its guns on the colonial government to do a coup, as we are seeing all over Africa, left, right, and center today. It was left to our people. And that's why every leader that we are going to give all praises, you're going to see points to this fact that it is people that are willing to bring their people to power, to open our eyes, to elevate us so we can come to power together, that we're able to achieve true liberation for our people. Now, upon his year in prison, Lumumba came out and intensified his anti-colonial efforts, and his party was able to emerge. His movement became the leading party for the liberation of the Congolese people. He became the prime minister in their first ever republic. Now, to discuss the Katanga crisis, which really defined his political career. A lot of people believe the propaganda from the CIA that says, oh, it was because Lumumba was with the Soviets, and the Soviets, America, it was Cold War. We forget that Lumumba, first of all, approached the United States and United Nations so that Katanga and the politicians of Katanga, who were in the pockets of the Belgians and saying they wanted to secede from Congo. Katanga is the most resource-rich area of the Congo, meaning that they wanted to take the wealth away from Congo and just give them an empty independence. And even though the National Army, now under Lumumba's leadership, was winning this battle, the Belgians were sustaining this independent nation and arming them. Now we know through the help of their American colleagues. The UN sent a peacekeeping force and they paid lip service to the crisis, and that was when Lumumba had to reach out to the Soviets to keep his country unified. And this was what led to his overthrow. First, they tried a constitutional coup, tried to sack him as the prime minister, and that failed. They didn't have enough votes in the parliament because his party was the leading party. And that's when they brought in Joseph Désiré. People forget that this man's name is Joseph Désiré Mobutu. That suddenly became Mobutu Sese Kukakataka.
Mobutu Sese Seko Kukumbendu Wazabanga.
We forget how these traitors quickly used Pan-Africanism as a cloak to cover their treachery, all over Africa, and came and put Lumumba under house arrest. He escaped from the house, and on his way to join his own supporters in Stanleyville, he was betrayed by the CIA and captured by Mobutu's forces. He was locked up in different prisons and then handed over to the Belgians. Mobutu was tortured, abused for about a week before he was brutally murdered in Katanga region by Shombe's regime. This man gave his life and everything for us as African people to at least have some notion of dignity and power today. To wrap up this episode, from the words of the man himself, the last letter he wrote to his wife before he was transferred and murdered. So he wrote this while he was in Ticeville prison before he was handed over to the Belgian forces. And he goes like this: "My dear wife, I am writing these words to you, not knowing whether they will ever reach you or whether I shall be alive when you read them. Throughout my struggle for the independence of our country, I have never doubted the victory of our sacred cause, to which I and my comrades have dedicated all our lives. But the only thing which we wanted for our country is the right to a worthy life, to dignity without pretense, to independence without restrictions. This was never the desire of the Belgian colonialists and their Western allies, who received, direct or indirect, open or concealed support from some highly placed officials of the United Nations, the body upon which we placed all our hope when we appealed to it for help. At this point, I'd like to add that one of the most atrocious things the United Nations did during the arrest and subsequent murder of Lumumba was that when he was kidnapped, the United Nations forces were the troops that blocked the national radio so that Lumumba's supporters could not announce to the people that Lumumba had been kidnapped. So by, preventing any kind of public outrage or protest or rebellion that could have secured his release or probably saved his life if the people had stood up for him. They seduced some of our compatriots, brought others, and did everything to distort the truth and smear our independence. What I can say is this: alive or dead, free or in jail, it is not a question of me personally. The main thing is the Congo, our unhappy people whose independence is being trampled upon. This is why they have shut us away in prison and why they keep us far away from the people. But my faith remains indestructible. I know and feel deep in my heart that sooner or later my people will rid themselves of their internal and external enemies. They will rise up and as one in order to say no to colonialism, to brazen, dying colonialism, in order to win their dignity in a clean land. We are not alone. Africa, Asia, the free peoples and the peoples fighting for their freedom in all corners of the world will always be side by side with the millions of Congolese who will not give up the struggle while there is even one colonialist or colonialist mercenary in our country. To my sons, whom I am leaving and whom perhaps I shall not see again, I want to say that the future of the Congo is splendid and that I expect from them, as from every Congolese, the fulfillment of the sacred task of restoring our independence and our sovereignty. Without dignity, there's no freedom. Without justice, there's no dignity. And without independence, there's no free men. Cruelty, insult, and torture can never force me to ask for mercy, because I prefer to die with my head high, with the indestructible faith and profound belief in the destiny of our country, than to live in humility and renounce the principles which are sacred to me. The day will come when history will speak, but it will not be the history which will be taught in Brussels, Paris, Washington, or the United Nations. It will be the history which will be taught in the countries which have won freedom from colonialism and its puppets. Africa will write its own history, and in both North and South, it shall be a history of glory and dignity. Do not weep for me. I know that my tormented country will be able to defend its freedom and its independence. Long live the Congo. Long live Africa. Ticeville Prison, Patrice Lumumba. Thank you for listening to this. Comment in the comment section. Let us know anything you know about Patrice, how Patrice Lumumba's life has inspired you or inspired anybody you know. If you have any stories from people that have met him personally that came down to you, just let us know. Keep it alive, keep it interesting. All praises due. Ashe. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the All Praises Due segment where we spoke about the great, the one and only, the inimitable Patrice Lumumba. There will never be another. And now we're going to wrap this up, And I think a good way to wrap it up is to use one of Marimba Ani's acronyms, that African people need war. World African Revolution. And we must remember also that revolution is an intellectual endeavor.
Absolutely.
It is the commitment to know oneself, to act through self, must come from understanding of self,
Yeah, the ideological and intellectual components of revolution, because if you're simply rising up to fight a force against force, there's a greater chance that you will just have a new tyrant emerge. Unless there is a core ideology, a set of values, protocol, standards that are driving the action, then how do you expect to create a better conditions? You just transition power as opposed to redistribute power amongst the people.
And one of the things that we like to talk about in this show is to understand that when we say we are anti-colonial, we are anti-imperialist, we are not talking that we want to remove whiteness and have African people replace those people that are doing those things. For so long, I think because African people have not been loved, we find once somebody comes and just shows us a little bit of attention, everybody in the continent just, it's like we don't give ourselves the I think the respect that we deserve to commit ourselves to understanding things that really affect us.
Well, Del Jones said we lose so much we don't know what victory looks like.
I think Trump has stolen that line in 2016. Yeah, like but now we're going to win. We're going to win.
That's
we're
different.
Going to win. Oh my goodness.
make revolutionary war again. So again, but back. We lose so much that we don't know what victory looks like. So we find saviors or messiahs or point to internal conflicts of the elite and think that we have a stake. Or as I like to say, when the leopard and the lion go to war, who should the zebra root for?
I don't understand.
The zebra looking at a lion and a leopard fighting and saying, yeah, one of them's fighting for us. No, both of them are fighting for us.
Yeah, exactly. Both of them are fighting for you, bro. Not one of them. Just be sure. As soon as they are done, they are coming for you.
Right. Either way, regardless of who wins.
And also to seek for answers outside of ourselves. Trying to appease the morality of our conquerors.
Yes.
Trying to find the humanity in them. Yes. Trying to make them see us as human beings and, maybe if we just act this way, they'll stop behaving this. Listen.
Yeah, but that is, these inappropriate responses to imperialism and oppression has bred the new blacks. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the new black movement.
I'm telling you that these new blacks you're talking about in America, they learned from new Africans that have been existing since the 70s. People forget that this black excellence is negritude. Where did negritude start from?
Okay.
Listen.
Yes, but if you can rebrand it. Did you guys trademark that? You know how this works. Listen, but the very fact that there are a class of blacks who think they have transcended all this pain and suffering, all this anger,
it is not their business.
I have transcended through my own achievements as an individual.
We want to see in the comments what you think about such African people that feel, or if you are one of such African
post-racial.
people, that you are post-racial. You feel like the African experience does not really concern you, does not affect you. Whatever we go through,
your fight is won.
Yeah. And if you are for the fact that as an African means that Africa is in you, the past experiences must be taken into consideration.
And the struggle continues.
Yeah. The strong Ashe, the strong Ashe on that. Yeah.
As we talked on a previous broadcast, we talked about how a black boot on your neck is somehow progress from having a white boot on your neck.
We are sad we cannot be imperialists and exploiters.
Right, why can't we have some black boots on our neck?
I'm sad. I don't like the white boots. I want the black boots on my neck. Those that seek integration with oppression.
Right.
Those that seek equality with their oppressors.
Oh yeah, equality.
In Nigeria, let me tell you, there was a big revolt by the people, a rebellion called NSAS. And the people broke into stores and liberated a few items from all these stores. They also liberated some of because it was during COVID, and these countries have donated, people have donated a lot of food and supplies to the young people that these politicians just hid. People were hungry. This is COVID. Everywhere was locked down, no food, nothing. But there were warehouses with tons of food. These people had billions. Some of them owned private jets. Some of their workers leaked the location of all these warehouses to the people. And the people went there to liberate all these things. Then these elites came on TV and they are spokespeople. Oh, they are looting. Oh my God, can you believe they are looting?
From Surulere to Lekki, there are video evidence, mostly from social media, showing massive looting and destruction of properties. Malls, banks, and other private businesses are targeted, and the trend has continued unabated.
This is a country where we are being looted every day. So as soon as you loot, now suddenly everybody sees looting is bad.
Right.
Well, you are sought equality with your oppressor.
Right.
Yeah,
and I'm not sure where the concept of equality came from, because we thought we could be equal to our oppressors without engaging in any of the atrocities that helped them to reach and sustain them in power. Were they going to come down to us?
No,
I mean, because or we go up to them. Like, how does this work?
I mean, you're going to be the one that just does oppression right. It's an oppression Olympics.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
a good
cop. Do oppression right.
A good cop.
Yes,
and an honest politician.
Just get oppression right.
And a genuinely moral minister. Okay,
yes, I share. And also, let us know if you can get oppression right. Thanks for joining this episode of The Bird's Eye View.
Justice.
We are very happy for your support. Like, share, subscribe to the page, comment in our comment section. Keep it alive. And as we say, we're ready for the next episode. Hey. YouTube every day.
We got us some official holidays.
Nigerian Independence Day. Democracy Day. The AU, bro. The AU.
The United Negro College Fund.
Rhodes Scholarship.
Yes.
Prison reform.
No more inmates.
What else we got?